Hello everyone, my name is Rahima Robinson and I'm a Master's of Social Work student here at Morgan State University. Today I wanted to talk to you about something that affects so many of our young people, and that is social anxiety disorder. It's something I often see in schools, and it's more than just being shy. It's a real mental health condition that can make every day feel really hard for kids and teens. So what exactly is social anxiety disorder? According to the DSM-5, social anxiety disorder is defined as a marked or intense fear or anxiety of social situations in which the individual may be scrutinized by others. In children, the fear or anxiety must occur in peer settings and not just during interactions with adults. When exposed to such social situations, the individual's fears that he or she will be negatively evaluated. The individual is concerned that he or she will be judged as anxious, weak, crazy, stupid, bored, intimidating, dirty, or unlikable. The individual fears that he or she will act or appear in a certain way or show anxiety symptoms, such as blushing, trembling, sweating, stumbling over their words, or staring, that will be negatively evaluated by others. Avoidance can be extensive. Examples could be refusing to go to school, or subtle, like diverting attention to others, limiting eye contact, or cell phone use. The fear or anxiety is judged to be out of proportion to the actual risk of being negatively evaluated or to the consequence of such negative evaluation. These symptoms must last at least 6 months and interfere with daily living, such as work, school, or relationships. On a national level, about 9.1% of adolescents in the U.S. experience social anxiety disorder, and around 8% of them face serious impairment, meaning it really affects school, friendships, and daily life. We also see that girls are more likely to experience social anxiety than boys, and in African American youth and other minority teens may experience it differently because of community stressors, stigma, and lack of access to care. Here in Maryland, about 8 to 10% of teens show symptoms of social anxiety or related disorders, but the support they get really depends on the county they live in. And in Baltimore, while we don't have the exact statistics for social anxiety, we do know this, that CBS News reported that more and more students are struggling with anxiety and depression, especially each year during back to school time. The COVID-19 pandemic increased risk factors for social anxiety disorder. So many kids became isolated and spent hours on social media, video games, and TV instead of interacting with their peers. This made social situations even more intimidating once we went back to normal. In urban neighborhoods, violence went up during the pandemic, which also increased anxiety in parents and their children. And something that we don't talk about often enough is that parents' anxiety can easily be trickled down to their children. Here are 5 long-term goals that we can use to help our children with social anxiety. 1. Develop a helping coping skill to manage anxiety. 2. Encourage young people to join extracurricular activities or hobbies that involve interacting with their peers. 3. Maintain a regular sleep schedule. 4. Cut down on social media scrolling, especially when it starts to affect school. And 5. Build positive peer relationships while increasing self-confidence. To make these large goals happen, we'd break them into smaller short-term goals. We can identify 3 social situations that cause anxiety and track how they make you feel each week. Practicing 2 coping skills, that could be drawing or journaling. Exploring at least 2 school clubs or activities, and commit to attending them once per week. Students could create a bedtime routine that allows for 8 hours of sleep and cut off screen times 30 minutes before bed. Another short-term goal could be setting a 2-hour daily limit on social media and replace one of those scrolling sessions with something positive like reading, doing chores, or spending time with family and friends. As a future school social worker, I can help students reach their goals by helping them look up programs and clubs that fit their interests. I would do motivational interviewing to help students talk through any fears or hesitations they have when it comes to interacting socially. We'd even develop an exposure plan which would allow them to bring a friend with them to an activity first and build up the courage to eventually go on their own. For sleep, we'd build a sleep hygiene plan and maybe set up a bedtime tracker and involve parents to make sure phones are getting put away before bed. And for social media use, I'd encourage students to use a digital wellness tool that tracks their screen time and have a student journal on how scrolling makes them feel. We would also have students do affirmation mirror practice where they'll create and repeat 3 personal affirmations daily. In summary, social anxiety disorder is a real and growing challenge for adolescents, especially those in our urban environments. As social workers, our role is to empower the youth, build resilience, and create safe spaces for them to grow socially, emotionally, and mentally. Thank you. I'm Rahima Robinson, a Master's of Social Work student at the illustrious Morgan State University.